Dune
There's only
Awakening.
one thing worse than being chased across the desert by a sandworm in Dune Awakening, and
The
that's
fuck?
getting
So
eaten
Why
by
is
a
this down
sandworm in
here?
Dune Awakening.
Well,
Not only does the
you
giant
have a
Alrighty.
shoot
very
and suck you down into the bowels of
75% win rate
Arrakis,
gamble.
it eats
Put some
everything
clothes
you
on.
own. Your clothes, your
apparently I do.
weapons, and especially your spice liquor. Suddenly you're respawning at your base in nothing but your underwear.
Bro, get that
and
cake
forced
out my
to do the run
face,
of shame
man.
across the sands to start rebuilding your inventory.
Statistically speaking,
Hello?
this is
Oh,
fine.
the fucking sandworm.
It's easy to be skeptical about
Looks
the
like
survival
shit
games
already.
set in the Duneverse.
I don't know why why they made it into this type of game. Like, they're gonna make a Dune game. I feel like just being a random in the world of Doom just is not. I don't know. Maybe this game will go crazy.
The day I spent in
take
Iraq,
Cause I don't feel like I know anyone in real life that likes Dune either, but obviously
More than
Dune
that, if the
goes
developer
crazy.
can deliver on its plans for the end game, it could see an EVE
Okay,
Online
now
style
we just go.
future for its hardcore player base. This massive project is the work of Funcom, the studio of the Conan Exiles Dong Slider
We're
fame,
fine.
and sets you on a path from broke-ass Arrakis hobo to an influential figure harvesting spice on an industrial scale
these all suck.
and pushing their personal agenda at the Landsrad. It's got everything you expect from
You got
an
4,000
MMO.
bullets.
Skill trees, PvP mechanics, base building and character customization, but with ornithopters and mind-altering substances thrown in.
Show me something that actually looks cool, please.
Put your hand in the box.
Dune Awakening is
Okay,
set in a world where
Angie,
Lady Jessica had
kill.
a sliding doors moment and chose to follow the instructions of the Bene Gesserit
Do you want
and
to
have
go
a
for a
daughter,
pressure point
Risky,
build?
instead of the little twink we know
they're
and
so
love,
fun.
Paul Atreides.
They're so fun.
Cut to 29 years later,
I love
and the
pressure point
Harkonnens and
build.
Atreides are at war over Arrakis.
Uh,
The
two
Fremen have
question
been
marks.
apparently wiped out, and alternative religions have evolved to
I
fill
am
the gap
taking
left
a
by
lot of
Lisan Al
damage.
Gaib.
I should
The ultimate
not be
timeline
taking
isn't
this
meant
much
as a
damage.
nipple
This is
twister
unfortunate.
fans, but Funcom
You say
needed
nipple
large
twister?
We're doing
to
pressure
make the
point
player
build.
character consequential. Obviously, we did somewhat controversial, but I think very correct choice of creating the alternate
that's
history,
all I wanted.
which allowed us to
well, if
detach
I-
a bit
What'd
from
you
what was
buy?
going on in
Never
the movies
thought.
and kind of
Let's
focus
see.
on
They were
developing
make a
the
purchase
game
off
for
of
the audience.
TikTok shop, but
It's
here we
also been
are. What'd you
very
buy, man?
helpful in that
The
it
shooting
allows us to
animations
bring a lot
look.
of
There's
the
about.
big-name
Hey,
characters that people
cook
really
up.
want to interact with back into the story.
I
So
agree.
In the books, a lot of the big name characters die off quite early. With our story, we get
Bread.
to keep them around,
We
which
did
is
it.
really cool. There are
We
obviously
found the
things that we
game.
want to include more of in the future that
We got
weren't
a queue.
popular in the movies.
Let's see if they talk about nothing, man.
Launch, for instance.
Let's see you talk about
Sometime in the
something.
future, we'll look at that. If it still doesn't sit right, Dune purists should know that Funcom got the blessing of the Herbert estate for the project, working with it and the makers of the current movies to keep everything true to the lore. It influences everything from the skills you
gonna
can
hurt.
learn to the crafting progression, and it's a key part of trying to ensure that Awakening stands out.
It just
in an
doesn't
ever-growing
look
pack.
fun, bro.
Survival games are all over Steam
This
right
is
now,
why we
and
do
I've
this
tried
build.
most of them. Drop me naked in a jungle and I'll happily bash rocks and branches together for hours. Abandon me penniless in a fantasy landscape and I'll be crafting swords before breakfast. Dune Awakening stands out the minute you exit character creation for one very stressful reason. Arrakis
It just looks
isn't
like any
exactly a
generic
tropical island or
fucking
a verdant
survival
forested
game.
ecosystem. In the opening area, Haga Basin, there's no
Dude,
water,
you
scarce
suck,
wildlife, and a
Smoky.
distinct lack of coconuts. Oh, and the sun is like really, really hot, and you're susceptible to sunstroke. There are scavengers who want to kill you everywhere, and did I mention the sandworms? For the first few hours, my entire life hinged
Okay,
on
this is a little
dewdrops,
bit more
granite,
awkward.
and plant fibres, and the advice of an NPC with a pet bat who babied me through covering the basics of weapons, armour, and hydration until I could make it on my own. You're not totally pathetic during this time, thanks to a selection of abilities that you can unlock as you gain experience. I leaned into my manipulative wifey side and chose the Bene Gesserit skills, which gave me the power to compel enemies towards me and hang in front of me for a few moments before going back to trying to kill me. Don't get me wrong, I was still very much a toddler in the eyes of Dune Awakening. One ability I unlocked was better sunstroke tolerance.
The combat doesn't look good. Like, I don't know,
Slightly
bruh.
better weapons. And
Well, I'm trying to find the redeeming quality. Okay, hold on. He's moving there.
I could only
Reading.
dream of the wild combinations of ranged and melee combat combined with passive and active abilities that could be swapped in and out according to need, shown off by the developers.
No.
But the skill point acquisition felt
Absolutely
fast
not.
enough that I'll get there without too much hanging around once I'm playing at home. You won't be tied to
Oh,
your first
no.
speciality choice either, so you'll be able to mix and match. The other starting classes are Trooper, Mentat,
Animation for the
recon and strategy
melee.
focused,
These repeat
and
animations
sword.
for the melee. Bro, you know, so that's something I don't get either, bro. I don't understand when you're playing a game, right? And there's like melee combat, and they make the combos just there's not many. Bro, if I'm gonna play this game for hundreds of hours, fuck it, even like double-digit hours.
I should have done that.
I need a few different animations, bro. I hate playing the fighting game, not fighting game, but you know, like hack and slash. And I'm seeing the same exact shit every single 2 seconds. Give me some different finishers, bro.
Oh god, I'm stupid.
Another key element we only got a taste of was the very lifeblood of the Dune lore.
Just a taste
spice.
of it.
Got a
Spice is
Moira with
powerful in the world of Dune
2.5k
Awakening in
healing.
every
Yeah,
sense
Pocky
of
and I
the
ran into
word.
that
But it's
yesterday.
also not easy to amass as a lone noob in the early hours. You'll find
Moira's
spice
that
liquor and
just
food
like,
in the world, which
do
unlocks a brief
anything
period of
but
prescient power.
heal,
Though it
and then
comes with withdrawal
complain
symptoms.
that like their
But
team has
later in the
no
game, you
awareness
can
or
build
something.
transports, harvesters, and
Where it's
automated
like if you
spice
had enough
collection
damage,
system
or
to
if you had
score the
enough time to do
quantities
more
you'll need for
damage than you're
trade,
healing,
serious
you had enough
crafting,
time to do more healing.
or managing a
It's
raging
just-
spice addiction.
Just how it is.
I suspect the value of spice to players
I
versus
think
the
it's your
pain of collecting
situational
it
awareness
will
that's
be
the problem.
something Funcom will be balancing long after the game is released. Producer Nils Ryborg also explained how the spice mechanic would work. I think spice is really cool, obviously super important in the lore, and we use it to, well, it has some story aspects that I won't get into, but it's also the fact that we can use it
And
to
then also be
improve
different. I like cared more about the lore. Like I like the movie, but I don't care about the movie enough
But then
to
having the drawback of the spice
just
addiction
be all
and
too
using
invested. I feel
more
like
and more and more, a lot of the endgame
Poor.
systems being reliant on, hey, can you get enough spice to pay all your taxes for your huge base and have the correct political sway that you need and build whatever endgame things that you need to build? I feel that it's been a very rewarding thing to pull off because we're now allowing all the iconic things that you think of from the Dune books to become natural mechanics that fit very well into the game. He also explained how a spice addiction might affect you. If you're constantly high up on spice, you will start seeing weird and wonky things.
Oh, for real?
That's fun, right? Because you're empowering your abilities.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, if I cook with
Putting
that.
yourself in the situation where you have worse possibilities. So you're balancing that whole act of, oh, I need to do this or this.
What's that do?
and
What the
then
fuck
also
Dune's
knowing
even
you need
about?
this resource
Hey, bro, it's more political Star Wars.
for progression in other mechanics.
It's an even more
So you're tapping
political
into it
Star
now
Wars,
for a
bruh.
temporary
That's all you
boost
gotta
in
know,
this
man.
fight. But long term, you need it to pay taxes, gain political sway,
Like,
and so
I
on.
don't know if you ever watched any of those movies, but
Once you've learned
just
to live
swap
within
them.
this style, you can start to
like the
focus
amount
on
of
more than just
time,
beverages.
like that there's
So it's
action
a
and then there's
building system
politics,
so you can
just
start
swap
to
those
construct
fucking
your base,
runtimes.
self-beef, and which will
Because in
slowly
Dune,
start
it's
to build
like,
machines that
oh,
automate the basics
2
of
hours of
survival.
yap.
A machine to
Then you get
extract water
like
from blood that you can harvest from
you get
enemy
like some action
corpses,
sequences
another
here and
to
there.
purify the ores that you find. You'll need a fabricator to create armor and weapons. We only had access.
Which
to
if you're,
very
if you're into that
building
kind of
blocks in the
stuff,
early
you know, I don't
stages
mind
of
shit being
Awakening.
slow,
But options for
and like
customization
building
will
up.
increase as you progress.
But I feel like if you wanted to watch a bunch of action, you do not watch Dune. That is like the
You can
furthest
also
thing
copy your base to move as your focus
from
turns to new
something
areas of
where
the
niggas are
map.
scrapping and
So
shit.
none of that tedious multiple base nonsense that survival players are sometimes cursed
Like in
with.
Star Wars, bruh, I'd be pissed anytime they're doing that because the lightsaber shit's so much better, bro. Let me just watch a Jedi do something, man.
And taking out scavengers.
Like, watch us like somebody have.
And I did come across them a lot. There are camps
So
dotted around the map,
booty.
and enemies will
Hey.
respawn there on a regular basis. So you'll always have some walking blood bags
Cook
to
up.
exsanguinate when you need to. At times, the enemies in the camps felt a little cut and paste. Early on, I was passing the same camps over and over as I ran
lightning.
across the map, staying in shadows to avoid the heat of the sun. And dealing with them started to feel
they-
like a grind.
like, started
Close to the
with
end
that,
of the
yeah.
demo, the development team took pity on us and spawned ornithopters.
We did
and
it.
it's easy to see how that issue won't reappear once you're not
We
trudging
found
back
it.
and forth across the map
bro,
looking
I'm
for
Yeah, I mean that too. I also really do
Oh
not
my
care
God.
about being in the desert. And then also now I'm in the desert and I literally am walking because I bet you don't get
Why
this
do I
for
have to
so
fight them?
long. Yo, buddy. Anyways, I've already seen enough to know I won't be
You're free to
playing it.
wander the desert collecting twigs, but there are multiple story arcs or journeys that push you deeper into the world. As well as Batboy's Arrakis 101 seminar, there's a Herbertian set of trials you're tasked with completing after a spy stream, and that's where things get trippy.
Arrakis is suffering.
No spoilers, but the first, the trial of a Cool, involves stealthing around a cabin to avoid the notice
Oh,
of a
buddy.
giant golden glowing eye. The weirdness was a welcome interlude in the cycle of harvesting materials, killing scavengers, and fulfilling basic contracts for the trade post. And I'm hungry to know what the other trials have in store.
Defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks?
Some stuff we didn't get to try for ourselves were the more social aspects of Dune Awakening. Prove your skills for survival and skullduggery in Arrakis, and you'll get to the end game, wielding influence at the Breadisrad, where factions of players can make choices that will affect the world. Being as we were in the toddler end of the Dune Awakening pool, we only got to experience the PvE part of the experience, which with everything else I was trying to deal with felt like a blessing. The producer told us that while you can enjoy the game as a loner, those later social aspects will be vital to being an Arrakis kingpin, from taking on the tough dungeon-style eco-lab locations to trading for items.
The rules here are simple. Pay up front and don't cause trouble, or we'll toss you into the storms. Good?
It might not be easy living in the world of Dune Awakening, but as a
But I also feel like I haven't heard anything about this game, so I don't really know who is it
It's a
for.
combination of solid mechanics that put a twist on the usual scenarios, and a deep, deep obsession with the work of Herbert that strengthens the world building beyond the abilities of most narrative designs. Yes, I'm basically peeing in my still suit with excitement, even after the sandworm trauma. All I need now is just Funcom to add an ability to make a Muad'Dib my in-game pet, running on a hamster wheel, rather than just another furry blood bag. For more on Dune Awakening, don't miss the cinematic
I've seen
story trailer
enough.
and the gameplay reveal trailer.
I don't know what they're doing.